In this video, we're going to give you an overview of how you can control duplication and clipping on your label styles. So to do this, you just go to the Duplication and Clipping tab on your label style for your feature layer. And you'll notice that some of these properties may be different based upon the type of feature layer you're dealing with. In the case here, we're dealing with an area feature layer or polygon-based features. So these, a few of these settings are tailored to that. At the end, we'll take a look at a line-based label as well and go over some of those properties too. So the first section I wanted to go over is the placement section. So this allows you to choose how you want your labels placed. So for example, if you have a multi-polygon with several different polygons, you can check this box and label each of them separately. By default, we leave this unchecked and I'll just put a label on the largest of the polygon set. The next is a type of rule you can set. So we have three different options in here. One duplicate per quadrant, no duplicate labels, or unlimited duplicate labels. So one duplicate label per quadrant would allow the labeled, if you had a large area or a road, it would only allow one label in that quadrant of the map. So the labeler will look at the entire map, cut it into 4 different quadrants, and allow one label within that quadrant. No duplicates is exactly that. You shouldn't have any duplicate labels anywhere on the map. So that's saying, hey, if a label's printed out with this distinct value, I don't want to see it anywhere else on the map. And then unlimited duplicate labels will label the features as many times as it can, regardless of what the label value is. So that's if, for example, you had a street and you wanted to keep labeling it Main Street, Main Street, Main Street, so it's as it goes clear across town. So this can be a nice rule to play with to give your map different effects. The clipping section allows you to suppress partial labels. Because the GIS editor is a tile-based system, on some occasions when you have a large or very long label, you may see some things cut off. So if you don't want to ever see a cut off label, you can choose this and it would suppress any partial labels. Also, if you're dealing with area-based labeling, you can choose this and only draw labels that fit entirely within the polygon. So that can be useful if you want to give your map a clean look and you don't want labels going outside of your polygon boundaries. So that way they'll only draw when you zoom in far enough that the label can fit entirely inside of that polygon. Now, a lot of times you may not want it to fit exactly, or you want to give it a little wiggle room either way, and that's what this fitting factor allows you to do. Is you can adjust that up or down, and the labeler will say, okay, if it's a larger, well, that means if it fits within two sizes of that polygon, I label it, etc. So you don't have to make it fit exactly inside, but you can still control it by using this fitting factor. And then this last setting here is if you have a label that is right along the edge of your map, you can choose this and we'll try to shift it in so the entire label is can still be visible. So those are the settings for an area-based feature layer. Let's take a look at the line-based feature layer. And so pretty much everything is exactly the same except the segment ratio, which is very similar again to like the fitting factor we saw for the areas. Smaller values prevents the labels from being labeled on the line. So for example, if you have really small line segments, you may not be able to get a lot of labeling on there because there may not be room. So if you bump this value up to say 20 or something really large, it's going to take that length of that line and make it 20 times bigger and give a lot more room for the labeler to put its its label on. So if you're not seeing many labels, say on your roads, feel free to adjust this value to a much higher level and see what effect it has. In summary, feel free to play with these different properties. Labeling is more of an art than a science, so you can really play with it and get your unique feel for your given map. Thank you.